Thanks, Brenna.
Vote of confidence for you.
Would you like me to just hold my legs open like this so you can kick me square in the testicles?
I am not gone. Just let me know when we're ready.
You can have a run up and everything.
All right, let's see what is happening.
Actually, Brenna, you probably use a drone.
It's safer that way.
Who's got the big ass dog?
It's my neighbors. It's my neighbors.
Take it out of the drone.
Gotta text out this link now.
Jesus.
Damn it. Really frustrating. Well, we were late, and we were late to the point where I couldn't get to the event anymore because it was past the time that it was supposed to start.
Okay, sorry, that's
So I had to make a new
on
one.
that's on me. I apologise.
That was really big of you, Wayne.
If I drop a bollock, then I'm going to say I drop a bollock.
So I delete my black friends too. You know why I delete my black friends? They post stuff like this.
Well, I can't really say, man.
Hold on, let me see if I can read that.
Oh, is it Kamala?
They spelled it wrong. Can you see that? No.
No.
It's all just white, right? Hold on.
Hey, remember that whole podcast thing? Can we do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
You see that now? No. Can you see it at all? It's reflecting the screen.
Just send it to our group chat, bro. We have to get the show going.
Yeah, that's the reason why we do this.
It's
Y'all don't look at the
2:23.
Every week.
Y'all don't look at the group chat when I send stuff.
That's all I can see.
All right, here we go. Wayne, you got intros.
Oh, Jack, I can't be home. Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another episode of the Bin Podcast. And this is where we take the week's rubbish, we chuck it all in, and we regurgitate it and see what comes out. I'm here with my co-hosts to my this way.
Yeah, we're all that way.
To my right, we have the illustrious Brenna Duncan.
Yeah.
And just below her, over here. Oh God.
Jeez, it's the same way you did the last one.
I know. We have our man Cortez sporting a really fetching hat. That's a lovely hat you got there, mate.
Made it myself.
Excellent. Whittled it yourself from a piece of wood.
Oh, I'm wearing the bin hat today. Okay, I was talking about this hat that I made for myself. I had to make a new one. Yeah, because the old one was getting a little ratty, so
and
I had to
then
make a new one.
Underneath Cortez, we have your man.
No, he is not underneath me. We are on the same level.
We have your man Mikey Famine, but the less said about him, the better. So,
I hate you.
Oh no, that's why I'm here. So,
he has never been underneath me.
We are missing one team member, and that is Jartan Reen, who is, you know, that
You're talking about some weird language. Sorry.
He's currently stuck in Finland, and he's gutted he's stuck in Finland because I was about to tear him a new one after a few little factoids that have gone astray over the last few weeks about Europe. And I'm going to wait until he's back until I tear him a new one.
I'll dig in, man. He's not here to defend himself. Get all those shots in now. What's he gonna do?
I'm not that kind of. I want him to be it. I want him to take it. I want to see his face. I want to see the tears roll down those sad red cheeks.
I want him to feel the pain, and I want to watch.
Yeah.
I want to watch him cry.
You guys were You guys were once part of the same community, and now you.
I want him to look me in the. I want him to look me in the eyes. I stare at his still beating heart in my hands.
What would they say in Temple of Doom? The
Kalima.
Yeah. So, how is everyone doing?
I would like to start off. I
Mhm.
can now fly. I have super strength. I can the eye lasers are coming later, I guess, in an update. I got my microchip. I got part one of my vaccine.
I was gonna say, how's the
Part
Bill
one of a
Gates
vaccine.
microchip?
Yeah, it's great so far. Like I said, my allergies are gone. Actually, don't even need these glasses anymore. It's
I was going to say, what's going on?
It's amazing. It's amazing. My life is never. It's a shot. Just a shot. My arm's a little sore, but that's it.
No, it's the size of a pipe cleaner, and that big old needle going in there. That's gonna do some damage.
Just because you get your vaccinations with a turkey baster doesn't mean that my arm is too small.
What are you talking about, son? It's a javelin.
It's some heavy duty digger with a needle on the end of it.
It's a javelin attached to a fire truck.
Not everyone needs things of that size. Some of us are normal people sized, so we take normal people needles. But yeah, no, it's weird because so many people were freaking out about it at work, and I was like, "Shot, guys! It's a shot like every other shot." But it's new. I'm like, yeah.
May I interject with vaccine news?
Oh, this just in.
Yeah, this is actually breaking. Actually breaking.
Oh, breaking news.
So,
breaking.
My good lady was due to get her vaccine today. She was called by her doctors a couple of days ago to say, you need to go and get your vaccine as you're part of a vulnerable group. We still ain't figured out how. Maybe it's because she lives with me, but
dangerous.
So she went to go and get her vaccine today, and because she's breastfeeding, the doctor said, I wouldn't really advise it because I haven't done any tests on anyone breastfeeding. Yeah. And she was like, well, why did my doctor tell me to come to get it done? I mean, well, because you're in a particular group and they don't know that you're breastfeeding. So if she was giving Florence formula, it wouldn't be an issue because it would just be her. But because obviously she's breastfeeding, so she's not had the vaccine. So we're still in the danger zone.
Yay, danger.
Living life on the edge.
Wow.
That was breaking news with Wayne.
Brenna, what's been going on with you this week? Fires?
No fires. No new fires. We got a little bit of rain. A little bit of
just the regular fires.
Just they're starting to open up. Speaking of like vaccine news, they're starting to open up a few more vaccination spots. Vaccine news as well for if you read the article about or have seen any of the news about the Dodgers Stadium vaccination site.
Right.
They had a whole bunch of anti-vax, anti-mask protesters right outside, which we can go into a whole conversation.
Hold on, Brenna. Back up. Tell people who may not know what you're talking about what you're talking about. About the Dodger Stadium.
Oh, Dodger Stadium is a super vaccination site. So there's a few super vaccination sites that have opened up.
The baseball team. They're using the baseball stadium.
So we have Disneyland was ours for a while. And then they opened up Dodger Stadium as that particular place. So it's meant so that it can handle people. It's supposed to handle a lot of people, but if we can go into a whole conversation about how screwed up the distribution system was, it sucks. But let me just finish this. We had a bunch of protesters who actually were at the Dodger Stadium, and it was so bad. They were bothering so many people that they shut down. They would not let any more people go in for their appointments in order to get the vaccine. That's the big news of this past week, that it was horrendous what happened. But they're opening up more vaccine sites, and we're going to get some, I believe, at various pharmacies, and they're going to start distributing more vaccines. Woo!
Then you
So
guys can have
lucky.
you guys can have superpowers like me.
We're all going to be as lucky as Mikey.
You can see in the dark.
I don't get this whole using Stadia as a vaccine site, because like near me, just down the road in a little town called Benfleet, they've basically got a gazebo outside of surgery, and people just sit there. They go in, they get jabbed, they send them on their way. Or you can go to Superdrug, which is kind of like your like a Walmart kind of store.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they sit them down, they jab them, they watch them for half hour. After half hour, on you go. So what's the point of putting them in a stadium? Because a stadium is built to hold people for a very long period of time. And
but you're missing the other part of say that yes, stadiums have a lot of seats, but they can also accommodate a lot of foot traffic. So if you go to a game,
parking,
it's
the distance. You can do a lot more with that area. Like they were using we have fairgrounds here. They've been using our fairgrounds as a super testing site, where they basically set up huge amounts of gazebos, and you could have people drive up, because we want to try to keep people as distant as possible, and one of that ways is to get people in cars. And when you have lots of parking, it's easy to accommodate a lot of people. I have more of a problem about how they were given appointments, where we have a priority list appointments. So the healthcare workers got it from their place of business, but once they started distributing it out to the rest of us, it was 65-year-olds and older.
Right.
You had to go onto a website and register at the website, and then you had to download the app and register on the app, and then wait for an email. Well, there's a lot of problems with that, because the app didn't work very well, and you're talking about 65-year-olds.
Yeah, Maud loves checking her email and signing up for new things. They love it.
Some people don't even have email addresses.
Right.
Some people don't have phones. Like it's amazing.
This neighbor of mine, she came over here the other day because she was knocking on doors, talking about, I'm with the neighborhood watch. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. And she goes, I wanted to know if you guys would be interested in joining with me and becoming part of the village, whatever they're called, the village group or whatever.
The village
people. I was like,
I didn't say it.
She knocked on the door. Young man, I am talking to you. I said, young man.
We need a new black officer, and I think you fit the bill.
He comes with his own uniform.
I think you fit the bill. It's 2021. You got it. So she comes in and she's like, yeah, but you have to do this. I can't show you how to do it because I don't have internet. I'm like, okay. She goes, I also don't have a cell phone. I'm like, okay. And she goes, or television. I was like, so what do you do? Just sit over there with the cats all day? She goes, I have a house phone. I'm like, what are you gonna do with a house phone?
Wait for
Chuck it at someone.
Wait for it to ring.
So that's kind of my biggest criticism, is how this appointment rollout kind of shit happened.
I wonder if she voted.
It was bad.
This is a message for Brenna from Jenna, Miyu. Brenna, you're giving me first time ACA website enrollment fail flashbacks. LOL.
Yeah.
Jenna is a nurse. So.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, we could have vaccinated 10 times more people by now, if only they could have done better with the appointment system.
Do you guys have tollways in California?
No, not extensively. We have like within Southern California, we have like 4 or something. It's not a regular travel.
Because I was thinking, I was wondering if there was any other like furloughed or closed like government entity that could take care of it. Because the DMV for us has been mostly closed for most of 2020. It's been open like maybe like 5 or 6 weeks, and then it'll close again, and then it'll be open for a week, and then it'll close again. I mean, that building is perfectly ready to accept all these people, and you know what I'm saying, like post offices, like all these like government entity.
So that's good. Buildings. That's a good question, because our community colleges, including like the ones I work with and the ones that are nearby, are primarily online. Still. So they have health offices and they have the ability to distribute. And that's one of those things that I was looking at is why not use these healthcare facilities that are not being utilized as grandly as if they were, if these colleges were open full time.
Right. What were you going to say, Wayne?
I have a question about the DMV.
Yeah.
Is it as bad as it's portrayed in the American media that is distributed over here?
It definitely can.
Oh, yes.
It definitely can. I usually have pretty good experiences at the DMV, but I am in the very, very small minority. It could be hours to just get a new, like if you change your address, it could be hours.
The way it's portrayed over here is there's one angry black lady behind the counter, and when you get to the actual counter, she says you're in the wrong line.
Or she just throws up a close sign in your face, says, "I'm going on break," and then she's out of that bitch.
I've been hit with that before by old black lady. I'm on my break, honey. I can't help you. You just sitting here right now, but I'm on my break, baby.
She taking that break. She said, "Oh, you're gonna have to get in somebody else's line today."
You're gonna have to go over there and wait in that line.
I'm sorry, baby, but this is my last one today.
I got a tortellini lean cuisine sitting in the freezer. About to heat that bad boy up. You got me. No. Somebody said
I made some yams last night.
Margaret, come help this man.
Old black lady only like portrayal of the DMV that we get over here. So I was just seeing if that was actually accurate.
And I would say yes. I would say
old black lady.
Yes.
Now to be fair, if you know going in that the DMV is just a big pile of shit, you can prep and plan to make your shitty experience less shitty. Isn't that right, Cortez? Like you could go on to the. You could go on.
I have a suggestion. Okay. If you're going to the DMV and you know that you're going to be waiting there for an hour, have the BinPodcast. Have the BinPodcast, and you can listen to it.
An hour.
And get one of them.
You're gonna need to watch like 4 episodes by the time you get to the DMV. You come back to read. Let me explain this. Me and Mike went to the DMV 3 days in a row. We brought everything the first day, right? They said, "Oh, but you're gonna need this," and we said, "Okay, cool." So we went and got that, right? We came back the second day. They said, "Oh yeah, but you're gonna need this too." So we came back the third day, and they still was just kind of like, "Well, y'all been here 3 days in a row, so we're gonna do this for you today, but you gotta come back next week." I had to come back the next week for a 4th time.
This is what I'm saying. When I go to the DMV to do anything, I make sure I have all of the proper documents that they ask for, and I don't try to use something else that's like something else. I come in with exactly what they asked for, and then I got my license. I follow the rules, okay? I follow the rules, and it does just fine by me.
This man took my daughter out the DMV, went and grabbed lunch, took an hour, came back. I was still sitting in the same spot. And then we had lunch in the DMV, and he fed my daughter. It was crazy.
Mikey, do you also bring your fold-out chair with your Bernie Sanders in it?
That wasn't just DMV. That was the day that we went to the public office, so I could file that other paperwork. That was a crap. That was the public office was worse than the DMV, honestly.
Yeah, but again, every DMV has a website, and they will say what is and is not acceptable as a form of whatever the hell you're looking for. Please just give them what they want. Just give them what they want so you can leave. Because sometimes if you're the friend driving 40 minutes down to the DMV to take his friend down there, you don't want to go more than once.
We need a public service announcement banner.
We went 4 times.
The more you know.
Right, Cortez, in conclusion, what Mikey's saying is you fucked up.
Look, but here's the thing.
And it's
he was there the first day with me when they told me exactly what I needed. And I gave them everything they told me that I needed the next day. And then they was like, oh, yeah, but you need this too. You'll have to come back. And then the third day we were there, I was only able to get my license because I had to renew my license. And they were like, so that was what the original problem was. I could not get my vehicle registration because I didn't have a renewed license. My license was expired by 2 days. It was only 2 days that my license had expired. So I had to get a new license. So when I tried to go back around in the line, they was like, "No, you gotta wait until we put this in the system. Even though you got the paper copy right here, you have to come back next week."
I knew that they weren't gonna take that, and I just let it happen. And I was like, "I'll let them tell him that they're not gonna take that."
Yeah.
But we digress. We digress. We bantered.
We had a 1.5-year-old active child.
That's my little homie.
Cortez, just put your hands up and just say, "Yeah, I fucked up. I fucked
okay.
up, son."
You brought the wrong stuff.
He knew I was gonna be messed up. He just wanted to hang out with Gracie. That's what it was.
That is my little homie.
Wait, there you go.
Every time she see me say, "Yeah, that's my little dog. That's my little homeboy."
We're at the restaurant, and she look at him. She say, "Barbecue." He goes, "Here you go, baby."
I, uncharacteristically so, am amazing with children. We have the same.
Just adults you have a problem with.
I just can't figure them out.
She had sauce all over her face. I was like, "You cleaning this off?"
Yeah. It was good.
She had sauce everywhere.
Well,
we got to go back one day.
She enjoys to eat food very enthusiastically.
She put the whole rib tip in her mouth. She was just
with great vigor, and that I can respect.
You're gonna choke.
Just looked at her ribs and she went.
Oh, and then she ate all his fries.
She's a growing girl. She needs her nutrition. Let's get into let's do the third article there, Madam. We'll do the third one first, and then we'll close off on the thing that we're going to close off with.
Okay.
You see it in the private chat?
Yeah.
Hi, Tons of Mice. Hi, Sweet. Hi, y'all. How y'all doing? Oh, and check us out on Twitch if you guys have a Twitch. Still trying to get those numbers up. The next the next bar is quite high, so we're gonna have to do a little growing before then. This just in. Democrats ramp up pressure on Biden administration to cancel up to $50,000 of student debt. That makes me very excited.
That's good.
Because I did not go to university. But my
no shit.
At least I'm part of a continent, you piece of garbage.
Geographically, I still am.
Yeah,
and
not for long.
Jartan is also not part of that continent. That's the bombshell.
Yeah. Yeah, the both of you can go.
He's not even an EU citizen.
Both of you can go float out in the Atlantic for all I care.
Yeah.
But my lady is, and we are looking to buy homes. And luckily enough, student loan debt doesn't go horribly against your credit score. But we want to pay off things and not have things, people calling us at all hours of the night. And Sally Mae is a son of a bitch, man. She'd be changing her number all the time. She's like that stage 5 clinger that you couldn't get rid of right after high school. It's just the worst. But this is great because I think that's really empowering for people, I don't know, of our age, late 20s in Brenna's case and early 50s in Wayne's case. Because it sucks to have this looming. Oh, I still have to pay back $35,000, and that's super cheap if you're a school that. Because I think the two schools I got accepted to, one was 28 grand a year, and the other one was 19 grand a year. So either way, after all that interest shit, that's $100K that I have to pay back.
Yeah.
Who wants to pay back $100,000 at 24?
Yeah.
You gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
But it's
Work harder, Mikey.
This is the thing that the model of education has changed, and we've kind of followed you guys. So back in the day, you go to university over here, it was free.
It's not anymore?
No, £9,000 a term.
Oh.
£9,000. What is that?
A year.
What is that?
So 15 grand your money, I reckon.
Yeah.
How much is 40 quid?
40 quid is £40.
Okay, never mind. I know it's not any euros anymore.
No, that's because we never adopted it, Cortez.
Yep.
Oh, you're gonna be on the euro
Stay
soon, there,
away.
big guy. Get rid of that pound. That British note is done, baby. You went back in the European Union. Kiss. Oh,
Yeah.
we're spoiling. I'm spoiling. That is
Yeah.
$12,307.28. That's cheap.
Yeah, so
that's cheap, Wayne.
That's cheap
Wait,
compared to what it used to be.
Is a term a full year, or is that a semester?
No, it's a full year. So you pay 12 grand for the year in your money. But you say that it's cheap. Yeah, it's cheap in comparison to your thing. But your thing has always been you pay. We didn't have that. We didn't have that at all. So if you went into higher education, like when I left school, you could go into higher education like college for nothing. You could go into university for nothing, or you could get a grant depending on the course that you did. But then when it came to tuition fees, it was 2010, I believe, when it was the Conservative and Lib Dem coalition. They introduced tuition fees, and the big thing about the Lib Dems was Nick Clegg promised to scrap tuition fees, but to get some other things through, he had to renege on that particular promise, and that's why the Lib Dems over here are no more. Because what Nick Clegg did is he sacrificed on the altar of free school meals for kids up to the age of 7, tuition fees, because he saw that was more important. The Lib Dems just got absolutely eviscerated.
If they would have taxed Jeremy Clarkson 5% on all the fucking supercars he has, they would have been able to pay for everybody's university.
Meanwhile.
Could be worse.
Oh, cock.
Permission to say cock.
Oh yeah, but that's what's going on over here, because there's a big brouhaha about the fact that now we have to pay for university when everyone that came before us, thank you boomers, got everything for free, and now everything's being privatized. Every generation now subsequently has to pay for everything.
And it's going to get, like, our tuition costs. Like, I think, I was talking to my uncle about this back when I lived in St. Louis. He paid $650 for his degree.
But what was that in?
How
was that in relation to his income at the time? Because this is the thing, you have to look at it in a relative term.
Yeah.
So we say, oh, it's $650, but how much was that in the equivalent to today's money?
He would make, I think, in a summer, he'd probably make like $150. He would cover his tuition costs for that year, just DJing over the summer.
Yeah. So whenever we make them comparisons, we have to look at the relevant income at that time.
But I don't know anybody who's going to get a summer job and make 28 grand in the summer months.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So it's just like it's impossible for you to just get a summer job to pay for your schooling.
Yeah, you're not comparing apples with apples. You're comparing apples with oranges in that sense. That's why when all these old fuckers that I speak to say, "Oh, I paid £6,000 for my house," I'm like, "Yeah, well done you. And how much are you earning?" "Oh, you're earning $3 grand a year." "Oh, well done."
You paid for something. And it took you how long to pay off that loan? Oh, wow.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Just had that in between the cushions on the sofa.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah, and it's
You can
So
make
cool.
that recycling cans.
yeah. So what you think, Brenna?
What do I think about I am all for relieving these tuition costs, because there's no reason why the Fannie Mae needs that money.
Sally Mae.
They don't need it back. They don't. They make way too much money just off of interest. I mean, most of us
They make chocolate.
most of us make what we're paying for. Is the
Not the principal.
It's the interest on it,
Right.
because it takes so long to get it, because we pay for we pay for our degree, or sometimes we don't get a degree on it, and then we have to get a job, and then within that we have to continue paying mostly interest. It's I think mostly
Yeah,
pay
because
interest.
those rates are ridiculous that they're charging those kids.
Exactly. And then they wonder why we can't get a house, because we can't afford it. We're doing 2-3 jobs just to live. We're not getting married, we're not having kids. Like, there's a reason for this. It's because we can't.
It's impossible.
And I'm not saying that relieving the tuition costs will change everything. It makes society better, but it's a step in the right direction, especially if you do it like at that high price of $50,000. That's a great place to start.
Right.
And eventually we'll get to the point where things like trade school,
Right.
they'll pay you to go to trade school, because we're going to need, especially if we're going to go into green jobs.
Yep.
Guess what? You're going to have people installing the stuff, and you have to go to trade school in order.
Is that a meat cleaver?
Tenderizer.
It's a tenderizer. I'm just using it to
I
get some
am
attention.
very I'm feeling attacked right now.
No. I couldn't
Drop
be
the
asked-
weapon.
I couldn't be able to hold my hand up,
Okay.
so I just
On,
thought I'd
on
do
that
this.
subject,
Reason being
Okay,
is
sorry.
I want to
And then
know who
Cortez.
this Fanny is that you're all paying.
Shut up, Wayne.
yeah.
Go ahead, Cortez.
I'm over here in the inventors of civilization, not knowing why you paying a Fanny.
Sally Mae. Fannie Mae is the chocolate.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
They eat
what?
chocolate. They eat chocolate. They make chocolate. On that subject, I'm a big proponent of industry workers, and the reason why is because the world literally does not function without industry / essential workers, as we've come to call them these days.
Mhm.
And I'm really starting to get tired of people downing those workers because they want better pay or they want to be recognized for doing what they do. And I know that there's a lot of people that are going to jump down my throat about this. And if you do, it sucks for you because my throat looks like a horrible mess right now.
Pause.
The
Pause.
choice is yours. The choice is yours. You want to go down that? No, that's not that's not the television. That's the background lighting. It is fantastic.
Still turning
Actually,
off.
I'll switch it to a regular colors because so Wayne's senses aren't destroyed. So he doesn't
No,
have to-
it's just where it's strobing constantly.
I don't want him to have an anxiety attack over beautiful colors.
Finish your point.
Wayne interrupted me. One of the things that I want to say about this is, if you don't have infrastructure, if you don't have industry workers, if you don't have essential workers, your country, your communities will fail. And for 30 years, our country preached, go be a lawyer, go be a physicist and be a professor in some college and do that your entire life. There's nothing wrong with being a professor and educating people. There's nothing wrong with being a botanist. We need those people. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. But what I'm saying is, without trade workers, we are going to start having issues, because and honestly, if you want to keep it real, The reason why your mechanic can charge you absorbent prices is because there's not enough mechanics, not enough certified ones. The reason why when you go to the store and you're wondering why this is so expensive is because there's not enough of those people doing the job. Because how many people know the greatest mechanic without paying $1,000 for, or the fact that oil changes used to be $12 and now they're over 30 for a regular? I mean, let's keep it real here. Without plumbers, electricians, the people, food restaurant workers, servers, stop being rude to these people and tell them they need to get better jobs. Why don't you just pay into their industry, because they're the ones that are actually taking care of you and feeding you, because most of you can't cook. I've had some of your cooking and it's not very good.
And I think on top of that, that's like, as much as like we would never have people build the roads for us and then not pay them and then like have them on this like weird pay structure. No, they do a job, they get paid. And that's because we want the best quality work possible. We will invest as a community to make sure that these certain public utilities are taken care of. So
I disagree. I disagree.
When you're doing this, it's not so much that you're giving people a free degree and they didn't have to earn it. No, these people went to school and they're part of the same. They're not all getting degrees and fucking off to Mars or something like that. They're staying right there. So you're only educating your own people.
I'm going to strongly disagree on that massively, because living in a country where everything has been outsourced and everything has been privatized. So instead of having your local council take care of your infrastructure, it gets put out to tender to private companies. These private companies then put in the lowest bid they possibly can. And say, for instance, with roads, what they'll do is they'll patch a road, and then the next year, when that road fails again, they get another call out and another fee to come and repatch that same road.
We're used to that. Yeah, we're used to that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's why, unless it's all in-house, unless it's actually like a government entity,
right,
where it's not privatized, where the profit margin is not something that they're looking at service rather than profit.
I mean, like patching potholes is kind of like, yeah, you can have like a contractor come in and do that kind of stuff for you.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like making a new highway or expanding a road or something that takes like engineers and tons and tons of money, way more money than any kind of contractor you could ever work with, or the government might use contractors for that work. But I think the point of it is you have to invest money, period, in bridges.
Yeah.
You have to invest money in public transit. You have to put that investment there, or else what's the point? So if you don't want, if we can put money in bridges, we should also put money in people.
We spoke about this last week. If you like look at the post-war era that all these people hark back to, it was invested in the people of the country working for the government to get these infrastructure projects done.
Right.
Now, what's happened is all that's been siphoned off to private companies.
Well, there's a huge reason for that, and that really happened, especially after like the Reagan era.
Yeah.
Where
Maggie Thatcher.
That exactly where the government was no longer supposed to be taking care of its people. Like that was the mindset that Reagan's like, no, we're not going to take care of you. We're going to have these private companies take care of it. And we're seeing that still as of today. That sort of mindset where no, like you go to school, you pay for school, then you get a job, and then you pay into the government, and then that's the way that the life goes. And if you're not making money, it's your own damn fault.
Yeah.
If you're poor, it's your own damn fault. Where that mindset had we had that mindset post-war, which you are right. We invested in people, but then we ended up going off the rails.
Yeah, then Reaganomics came in. But
I feel like
no, the government, no, hands off. Oh,
yeah,
no.
I feel like a lot of people got like that super sweet hookup from the government so they could totally set up their lives post-war. And they're like, you know what? We can't have that. We can't have the next generation doing that. They're going to, hell no. Change
Well,
the
it's
rules
this
so that they're
idea is
fucked.
once they have wealth, they need to keep it. And so
Right.
all these people who were coming back from the war or lost their jobs or gained new jobs, like they suddenly gained wealth. They suddenly became middle class, and they suddenly rose above middle class. And by the 70s and 80s, they were like, whoa, 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 whoa. I want this. I want to keep this. I don't want the government taking this. I don't want to give it to poor people because poor people don't deserve it. And so we're going to rig the system so that if you're rich, all you can do is get richer.
Right.
Yeah.
And if
Let me
you're
introduce
poor,
this.
you only thing you can do is get poor.
To use
I'm
an
gonna introduce this.
go on.
And if any of you watch post-apocalyptic television shows or movies,
Here we go.
one of the things that you always see is that the cities and all of the things that we deem as normal every day, you know, the electricity, gas, running water, these things start to collapse because there's no centralized governments that have people going out and fixing these things. And what people seem to not realize, especially in this country in the last year and a half or so, is that what they're calling socialism is literally just the government doing its job of making sure that the country doesn't fail. It's not exactly, if that's socialism, give me a little bit more of that.
It's the thing is socialism is a bastardized word in the sense of it's been hijacked by people on the right to describe the government doing stuff to help you out. But when you need your government to step up, you all want it, and then when you want to just take, you don't want the government.
Yeah.
So like for us, like
yeah.
Go on, sorry, go on.
Like they have like right wingers will have all these businesses and they say, well, this contract is such a what is this nanny state where you need the government to enforce contracts? Like the government is not just politicians, it's laws. It's the fabric of the country. It's the backbone of the country, so that if we don't have laws in the common society that we all believe in, then what's the fucking point of this? I can just do whatever I want.
A lady rang into James O'Brien's show last week or the week before.
Friend of the show.
And friend of the show, James O'Brien. Check him out, 10 till 1 LBC weekdays.
And he talks just like this. He has voices.
And he doesn't know that he's got a new BinPodcast hat coming his way to cover up his bald patch.
He's probably watching right now. Hi, James.
He had a lady call in, and it was talking about the lockdown legislation that we have over here, and all the people complaining about people having parties and all that. And she turned around and said, yeah, people love the police until they're police themselves. And that just summed it up perfectly. So we can have rules and regulations for all them people, but if they dare come and encroach on my life, then I'm all against it.
Can't have
so exactly. So when it comes to regulations, you're happy with regulations as long as it applies to other people.
Right.
As soon as those regulations are then put upon you, this is disgusting. I'm a libertarian all of a sudden.
Right.
Well, let me because I have a lot of circles that I somehow find myself communicating with, and one of my major issues when I speak to these people is
BDSM, furries.
We ain't gonna talk about that.
The deviants.
Okay? We're not gonna talk about that. What we are talking about, on the other hand, is the fact that for some strange reason, I don't know where this came from or what generation this started in, is all of these people who you guys are describing, they somehow believe that they're exactly the same as millionaires and billionaires. And they're not, but they think that they are.
Cortez, I can't let that fly. I
have to continue this, Wayne.
Wait. 2 seconds. Millionaires and the billionaires.
There you go. Proceed.
There's certain.
I liked that one. Okay. I liked that one.
He got one
right.
That
one was good. I got to give you that. But what I'm saying about this is they seem to believe that doing something for someone else in the country is giving them a handout. When in reality, they all got handouts. All of them. They're still getting them today.
Oh, yeah.
And the second part about it is not only are they getting handouts, but they're getting government subsidies to get these handouts.
Yeah, they say
It's-
down with the fucking government and down with all this regulation, and then them Trump tax cuts came through, and they're like, yeah, it's like,
government.
oh, what do you
yay.
know? So when they can give you shit, but other people
Let's
can't have
continue
shit.
doing this so I can get more government money.
Just like last week, they're doing this on your face. Shh, shh.
we did this a few, like not a few episodes ago, but I want to say about 6 or 7 months ago. We did this thing on this calculator where we started to figure out how much money it takes to do certain things. Well, you take the average. We did this just for this state. The average for this state is $200 a month for a person on government assistance, and that's only cash. I mean, not cash. It's only food. So if you say, let's say that a quarter of the population is on government assistance right now. For us, that's around 96 to 97 million people. That's not a lot of money compared to the fact that someone with trillions of dollars invested in a company or companies together aren't getting taxed. So what you're telling me is you're taxing me 30% or around 30%, but you won't tax them at all. And I make a fraction of what they made in a month.
And when you're
all
talking,
year.
And when we talk about like the post-war and how our economy was better and that we could pay for these highways and various programs, the reason why is because we did have a marginal tax rate of like 95%.
Massive.
Because we were able to tax the wealthy when they became wealthy and got some of that money invested into our country. That's when our economy went really well. And so we harken back to these days where, life was good in the 40s and the 50s. And the reason why is because we taxed the rich. Like, it wasn't this ideal love landscape that the government had nothing to do with the economy.
They were over 50% at the time.
It was huge taxes. The government.
Yeah, and Brenna, again, we spoke about this last week. It was because we was all pulling for one thing as a collective. So we socialized our funds.
Wait,
to better everyone?
No, we distributed it out to certain things that made our economy and society.
And it makes me die because it's like every single Remembrance Sunday, lest we forget. Got about that though, didn't you?
Now, speaking of redistribution of funds, it's time for the mid-roll.
Oh, that's me.
That's you.
Me.
That Brandon.
Look at me. Look at this. Look at this. I'm getting skinny.
Yeah, you are.
She's melting away before our eyes.
Who
I'm
is
so
this
happy.
woman?
I have not been happy in a long time. Just being able to get myself back into a healthy situation.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling so good.
Brenny, you've done
so
well.
Good. I'm feeling so good.
We're happy. Very proud of your progress. All of us.
Happy. So
round of
now,
applause,
yay! All right. So what is not melting away, which is shocking to us? I have no idea how this is happening,
Wayne's
but we're
fat
actually
ass.
getting more patrons. So
no, Wayne, put that away. Wayne trying to do the Bust It challenge.
No, we're not doing that. We are at 19 patrons right now, which means I need one more and then I can stop reading the entire
I promise Brenna, once we got to 20, she doesn't have to read each and every person.
I only have to read the newest ones. So I need at minimum one person to go on right now. Go to patreon.com/TheBinPodcast. I don't have to read the whole list. I only have to read the newbies, and
but you love reading the whole list, don't you? Because you love.
I am continually doing this. So look, I can complain about it, but I still do it. Correct?
That is true.
Okay. So I can complain about it, but I'm still going to do my job because this is what I don't get paid to do.
You don't get paid?
How do you think I bought that Mini
No?
Cooper?
Redistribution of wealth? No.
I'm sitting here like this.
I'm
I'll get
tripping.
paid-
I'm tripping over $100 bills over here.
I'll be paid 75% of your.
I've got pictures of Lizzie all over the floor.
Oh God. All right. So, our esteemed patrons, we have Voice from the Underground.
Our homie Dutch.
We
Dutch.
are very happy to have Voices of the Underground here. We have LeClaire. We have Ragabash Dabbler.
Rags.
Elena.
Hi, Elena.
Divine Disbelief.
Nathaniel.
Alex.
Hi, Alex.
I believe we have Susan
Sue?
watching somewhere.
Hi, Susan.
We have Jenna.
Jenna
I
Miu.
know
Hello, Jenna.
is watching. We have, of course, our wonderful patron, our lovely chicken show patron, Chicken Anonymous.
Chicken Anonymous.
Who could
We
it be?
It's anonymous. That's the thing.
Could be anybody. Could be one of
be
us.
We have Barbara.
Barbara.
We have I believe is still listening. Tons of mice. Hello.
The king of all chats.
We have
Kilograms of rodents.
We have Ricky.
Ricky.
We have the wonderful the matron, Miss Nana.
Hello, baby.
Stop it.
Nope.
Stop it.
We have
You know.
good friend of the show, David.
David.
We have Katarina.
Katarina.
We have Stuart.
Big
Stuart.
Big Stu.
We
Big
have
Stu.
definitely our longest of our patrons. We have Austin.
Austin fucking
Austin.
Fowdy over there. Fucking
have-
Austin.
I slice your fucking face off.
We have the first lady of the TheBinPodcast, Kristen.
Hey girl, what you doing after this? I got some pulled pork sandwiches about to get delivered to our front door right now. So when y'all hear that dog barking, that means it's barbecue time.
I'll get on the plane. I'll be there in 2 seconds.
This got
Let's see what a
serious.
real man
And
looks like.
then we have our longest of our patrons, who has still doing it with us, Richard.
Big Richard.
So
Ricardo.
I want to thank our current patrons. I want to thank our newest patrons, and I'm really happy that we have 19. We're almost at 20, and then we're gonna go beyond that because we're gonna get some other shows coming up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
Look at the printer just crowbarring it in there.
Get in there.
And of course, we're definitely gonna have our chicken show
Oh God.
for patrons coming up. I wish
We're sorry. We're sorry for
was
that.
here to help us out, but because he's not, I'm going to have to do this and say that
You're gonna go roll in the snow naked?
you have to be a patron in order to see
Yeah, if you go
see
to
Mr. Jartin rolling around in the
You guys are-
snow,
onlyfans.com/Jartan.
clothes. Oh, but
So
you have to pay for
So
that.
a little bit of backstory for all you. This is just for the patrons because no one else, everyone else who's not a patron, just turn your audio
But you
off.
can't.
You can't hear
no,
these secrets.
you can be the patron.
He said,
do
"All
this.
of you."
No, if you're not a patron, you have to by law you have to turn your volume down for 2 seconds. So patrons, Jartan wanted to go out and do that video, and he had snow on the ground, but it was like 12 degrees and it was like rock. And I'm like, well, you better go bust that shit up. You got to make the video. He's like, I can't. It's like it's ice. It's fro. I was like, you should have fucking. I was like, you fucking should have thought about that before you said you would do it. So now you got to go
It's
roll.
permafrost now.
Now you got to go roll around out there in ice
People have
cubes.
spoken. The people have spoken.
So I think I think they got more snow. So hopefully they have some fluffy, powdery stuff that he can jump and roll around in. But he literally is like, he just walks up to like the dug-in snowbank like by his driveway and just kicks it, and none of it moved. I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna hurt. Yeah, that's gonna be. He's gonna have a concussion if he rolls around in that shit. But
we don't want to talk about concussions over here. It's been a rough month.
I want to see Zlatan like Paulie in Rocky IV when they go to Russia. When he's walking in the snow, it just falls over.
Speaking of Russia.
Of
Russia.
Look at that.
Can we please have, Madam Brenna, link number uno?
That is
to the number uno. So we're going to get a little bit in the weeds here. And Wayne, you're going to take lead on this, and I'll back you up.
Yep.
So Wayne, tell the uninitiated what they need to know about the Magnitsky Act.
The Magnitsky, I can't say it.
I knew
right
I
after
can't
that,
even say it
couldn't
right.
do it. Love it.
Can't even say it right.
Right. So Sergei Magnitsky was the lawyer of Bill Browder, and Bill Browder was a critic of Vladimir Putin and his whole regime. So instead of going after Bill Browder, which you'd think would be the direct thing, he ended up getting rid of his lawyer, right, Sergei Magnitsky. So Bill Browder set out on a mission to get Putin where it hurts, and that's money, and all his associates. And the thing is, they can't have the money in Russia. So what they were doing is they're laundering and washing their money in Europe, predominantly the UK, America, and other sort of client states. And the Magnitsky Act is designed. I know, I just can't say it. I can't say it. Is designed to freeze the assets of these oligarchs that are trying to just basically take money, illegal money, out of Russia, put it into properties in the UK, America, and sundry other Western countries, to clean it up. And this act, which has been passed in America, passed in Canada, passed in the UK, is now putting the squeeze on this dirty money. And it goes a lot further than that. And I'm gonna cast over to Mikey because I just need to quickly get something up on my screen.
You got pick up your other screen.
Yeah.
So when Bill Browder decided that he was going to try to take down Putin and all of his financial crimes, amongst all his other things, they knew it was risky, they knew it was dangerous, but they figured that they would be able to report what they needed to report and then sit back and let the good guys be the good guys. And Putin directly went after Sergei Magnitsky.
Sergei
Magnitsky.
Oh,
got him. He directly went after him, and the same cops that Magnitsky was supposed to be testifying against are the ones that picked him up from his house, arrested him, put him in jail, and they put him in some of the worst conditions possible, with whether it was no heat,
daylight,
no heat in the winter, and no plumbing, or 14 people with 8 beds, and they kept the lights on for sleep deprivation. And then that eventually led to declines in Magnitsky's health, and he eventually died from being in prison and tortured and beat to a bloody pulp by Putin's men. And that's what got Bill Browder to start the Magnitsky Act, and it's been passing from country to country to country to try to freeze all of this money that Putin's been trying to launder by stealing people's businesses and saying, "Oh, well, that's a nice auto factory you got there. I'll be taking half of that." It's like, what the fuck? No, you can't have. No, I'm taking half of that. And then that was just the end of the conversation. And so it stands to prove that even though Elon Musk just became the richest man in the world, he, as soon as if Putin left office today, I think the number is ridiculous. It's something like he's in the trillions, I believe.
He's basically orchestrating a dictatorship masked as a democracy, and anyone that kind of shows any sort of dissent towards him, is dealt with. And it goes back to Alexander Litvinenko back in 2006, who was over here again in Britain, had a cup of tea, which was laced with polonium-210, and he subsequently died. Also, you had the poisoning recently of the Sergei and Yulia Skripal. This was in Salisbury, not too long ago. It was in 2018, where the authorities discovered that they sprayed a nerve agent on his door, and then when he entered the door, it's obviously got into the system, and they was on life support for quite some time. But the byproduct of this was a couple found the vial that the nerve agent was in. I'm just going to quickly find their name because it's only right to say their names. Charlie Rowley came into contact with the nerve agent, and sorry, I'm just trying to find the lady's name because there was a lady that died. Where is her name? Sorry,
I can vamp for you for a second.
Dawn Sturgis.
Okay.
She basically found the bottle and sprayed it on her like it was perfume, and because she sprayed it directly onto her skin, she succumbed.
Yeah.
To it and died. And just recently, we have Vladimir Putin's opposition leader,
being poisoned.
Alexei Navalny, who was poisoned via his underpants. Someone got into his hotel room and sprayed Novichok into his underpants, and he ended up in a coma. They flew him to Germany, where he was treated. He came out, he recovered, and instead of being a coward and staying in a foreign country, he flew back to Russia. He flew back to Russia, where he was arrested upon landing and put into a Mickey Mouse court, where he even stated that this is
right
bullying, effectively.
Oh.
And he was dispatched with 3.5 years in prison under trumped up charges. And they let him off a year because he obviously spent a year in exile. But one of the things that they charged him with was not attending his court hearings because he was in a coma.
Well,
yeah.
you
You got 2 years.
You should have thought about that. You
years.
should have thought about that before you went into a
Should know
coma.
better. Yeah.
Yeah, before you put your pants on and got poisoned.
Right.
Yeah. Not by me.
Yeah.
But that Putin's a good guy, remember?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
No, he was democratically elected.
Yep.
It was just
Yeah,
like
he didn't change the rules.
98% or something.
People just love him over there. That's why
It's
he won.
pure. It's just keeps getting.
Yeah.
better.
So I know we shit on our democratic processes and what goes on with
hero.
with our countries, but look what's going on there. Look what's going on there, and you can take Trump, and he's an anomaly. But you look at what's going on in Russia and all these other corrupt Eastern Bloc countries, and you've got to say we're doing all right.
Yeah, and I think, had it not been for Wayne even bringing up the Magnitsky Act, yeah, I said it. That's the last time I'm saying it. I've gotten lucky 5 times now, and I'm not trying to push it. If Wayne had never showed me the TED Talk with Bill Browder, I would have known nothing of this. And that's probably a direction that we're going to be moving more into the future. Now that the crazy fire has been put out and we're back to some normalcy,
No offense, Brenna.
I didn't mean. I don't want to trigger Brenna and her fire. I think California just has a fire dependency. It's not an addiction, but it's definitely dependent.
Brenna, woosha, woosha.
You know, England has to feel the Johnson. At least we got rid of what we were dealing with. They still have to feel the Johnson.
Oh.
So the bin will be getting more and more worldwide. And if you guys have any comments or any cool stuff that you want us to talk about that's from around the world, let us know, because we're looking for more global issues,
content,
more global issues to tackle. I think next week I'm gonna see if I can get on, and maybe we'll have to do like a pre-recorded episode.
I've got a guest.
Oh. Are you going to tease who it is?
They might be a professor.
Oh, okay. They might be. They might not be.
If you guys want to hear about Akon City, let me know. So I'm going to do some more Akon City research today, see how it's coming along.
Akon City, I can't take. Don't name the town after yourself. That's just a bad idea.
Just let me out.
Akon City.
But I definitely want to
in Africa.
I definitely want to do some more stories about Nigeria and what's going on over there with their fucking police. Their police are off the fucking rails right now, just murdering people in the fucking street.
Yeah, they're killing people in the street like with ease, and they don't care.
There's no investigation. There's nothing about it.
Well, Ease is in the chat. Don't malign him.
Now they're literally like gunning people down in the streets, like brutally.
But yeah, so
you jaywalked. Pow pow.
So if you guys want to reach out to us at TheBinPodcast on Twitter, if you want to send us an email or a voice memo, you can do that at TheBinPodcast@gmail.com. Any parting word? Oh, we forgot our favorite frickin' segment. My fucking drink is empty now. What the hell are we drinking?
Oh shit. Stand up.
Shiraz.
Classic.
Yes.
Bin 50 Shiraz.
Yeah. Vintage.
Ooh. Very nice.
Tea for my throat.
Been having a little bit of the old
J-Mo.
standby.
Blackberry bubbly.
You on the bubbly.
I'm on the bubbly.
You're on the bubbly.
A little bit of the bubbly.
I got some bit of bubbly.
That's a wrestling reference only me and Cortez get.
Thank you, everybody, for checking us out on YouTube, and thank you for all the people hanging out with us on Twitch. We're gonna grab some potty breaks and get some food and do all that stuff, and then after show. And if you guys want to be part of that, hit us up on Twitter at TheBinPodcast, and
stay on for a bit.
Yeah, at TheBinPodcast, or send us an email or get a hold of any of us on Twitter. So for Brenna, Cortez, Wayne, and me, Mikey Pammon, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next week. Thank you.